All right, good morning. I'm in Second Corinthians chapter 5. And he died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for him who died for them and was raised again. He died for all of us, so that we who live are should no longer live for ourselves, but for him. Not my will today, Lord, but for yours. And it's easy to try to keep on pleasing our sinful nature, um, eating too many brownies, second scoops of ice cream. This seems small, but it's a little gluttony, and it's feeding that we know better, and we can know better than gossip. We can know better than like overspending. We can know better than having horrible thoughts towards other people. We recognize those crappy thoughts, that old way of living, but that part of us should die, and we should live for Christ. And we recognize the old sinful nature comes back, and it just like rears its ugly head. But we are to die to that and to live for him. And so when we know the desires of it we have, I used to desire to just be a normal drinker. And that was my deep desire above all things, because I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I just had this fantasy that that was going to make my life better. And I had to die to the illusion that, the delusion that normal drinking was somehow going to be great for me. So I had to die to the old fantasies and live and embrace the newness I have in Jesus Christ. In verse 17, it says, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the old is gone and the new is come. So if we are in Christ, the old is gone and the new has come. My children, when I first quit drinking, was like, yeah, Mom, sure, you're a new person. But remember when you did blah, blah, blah. And you're going to just do it again. And I said, yeah, I did all those things. But that was the old me, and this is the new me. So I'm walking in the newness of Christ. When I'm tempted to embrace my sinful nature, I'm like, no, I am no longer her. I am the newness of Jesus Christ. So embrace your newness in Jesus Christ today. You can recognize those thoughts, take them captive, and say, that's no longer the way I think. So, and then think well. So in order to be well, you have to think well. And so put on your newness and walk away from the oldness. All right, so that's putting on faith. So be fit. When you put on your faith, you're really fit for anything. So be fit, be blessed, have a phenomenal day, and walk in the newness of life you have today.